Welcome back to Blue Pyramid Stories, and now, the conclusion to Tomorrow's Child by Ray Bradbury. Peter Horn looked at his wife. She looked back gravely. "We'll go," said Peter Horn. "Into Pie's dimension?" said Walcott. "Into Pie's dimension." They stood up from their chairs. "We'll lose no other sense, you're certain, Doctor. Will you be able to understand us when we talk to you? Pie's talk is incomprehensible." "Pie talks that way because that's what he thinks we sound like when our talk comes through the dimensions to him. He imitates that sound. When you are over there and talk to me, you'll be talking perfect English because you know how. Dimensions have to do with senses and time and knowledge. What about Pie? When we come into his strata of existence, will he see us as humans immediately? Won't that be a shock to him? Won't it be dangerous? He's awfully young. Things haven't got too set for him. There'll be a slight shock, but your odors will be the same, and your voices will have the same timbre and pitch, and you'll be just as warm and loving, which is most important of all. You'll get on with him well." Horn scratched his head slowly. "It seems such a long way around to where we want to go," he sighed. "I wish we could have another kid and forget all about this one. This baby is the one that counts. I dare say Polly here wouldn't want any other. Would you, Polly?" This baby, said Polly. Walcott gave Peter Horn a meaningful look. Horn interpreted it correctly. This baby or no more Polly ever again. This baby or Polly would be in a quiet room somewhere staring into space for the rest of her life. They moved toward the machine together. "I guess I can stand it, if she can," said Horn, taking her hand. "I've worked hard for a good many years now. It might be fun retiring and being an abstract for a change." "I envy you the journey, to be honest with you," said Walcott, making adjustments on the large dark machine. "I don't mind telling you that as a result of your being over there, you may very well write a volume of philosophy that will set Dewey, Bergson, Hegel, or any of the others on their ears. I might come over to visit you one day. You'll be welcome. What do we need for the trip?" "Nothing. Just lie on these tables and be still." A humming filled the room, a sound of power and energy and warmth. They lay on the tables, holding hands, Polly and Peter Horn. A double black hood came down over them. They were both in the darkness. From somewhere far off in the hospital, a voice clock sang, "Tick-tock, 7 o'clock, tick-tock, 7 o'clock," fading away in a soft little gong. The low humming grew louder. The machine glittered with hidden, shifting, compressed power. "Is there any danger?" cried Peter Horn. "None!" The power screamed. The very atoms of the room divided against each other into alien and enemy camps. The two sides fought for supremacy. Horn gaped his mouth to shout. His insides became pyramidal, oblong, with terrific electric seizures. He felt a pulling, sucking, demanding power claw at his body. The power yearned and nuzzled and pressed through the room. The dimensions of the black hood over his torso were stretched, pulled into wild planes of incomprehension. Sweat pouring down his face was not sweat, but a pure dimensional essence. His limbs were wrenched, flung, jabbed, suddenly caught. He began to melt like running wax. A clicking, sliding noise. Horn thought swiftly, but calmly. How will it be in the future with Polly and me and Pie at home and people coming over for a cocktail party? How will it be? Suddenly he knew how it would be, and the thought of it filled him with great awe and a sense of credulous faith in time. They would live in that same white house on the same quiet green hill, with a high fence around it to keep out the merely curious, and Dr. Walcott would come to visit, park his beetle in the yard below, come up the steps, and at the door would be a tall, slim, white rectangle to meet him with a dry martini in its snake-like hand. And in an easy chair across the room would sit a salt-white oblong with a copy of Nietzsche open, reading, smoking a pipe. And on the floor would be Pie, running about. And there would be talk, and more friends would come, and the white oblong and the white rectangle would laugh and joke, and offer little finger sandwiches and more drinks, and it would be a good evening of talk and laughter. That's how it would be. Click. The humming noise stopped. The hood lifted from Horn. It was all over. They were in another dimension. He heard Polly cry out. There was much light, and he slipped from the table, stood blinking. Polly was running. She stopped and picked up something from the floor. It was Peter Horn's son, a living, pink-faced, blue-eyed boy, lying in her arms, gasping and blinking and crying. The pyramidal shape was gone. Polly was crying with happiness. Peter Horn walked across the room, trembling, trying to smile himself, to hold on to Polly and the child, both at the same time, and weep with them. "Well," said Walcott, standing back. He did not move for a long while. He only watched the white oblong and the slim white rectangle holding the blue pyramid on the opposite side of the room. An assistant came in the door. "Shh," said Walcott, hand to his lips. "They'll want to be alone a while. Come along." He took the assistant by the arm and tiptoed across the room. The white rectangle and the white oblong didn't even look up when the door closed. We hope you've enjoyed this reading of Tomorrow's Child by Ray Bradbury. We'll be back next week with another story, an original this time. Until then, I'm Storey Clayton. Good night.